because the Raiders still would have taken him. We'll talk about that later. But I feel like that's a good pick. Quinn Miners and Baron Browning, good picks for them. Not super stoked about the players they are, but obviously they realize they need to address some issues. Again, Caden Stearns, what is he going to be? Probably a special teamer. 5th round, this is where you start, taking flyers on people. As you said, pretty much every, time when we talked about these, dart throw, we're starting to get into those dart throw areas. But still, never take a defensive player from the Big 12. It's just not worth the headache until they've been in the NFL. And then you'll get some, like, what's his name, Huff from Texas. Had like 4 or 5 good years in the NFL. Not great, but good enough to where if you can get him on a 2-year team-friendly deal, you should have done that. Check him out. Let him play a little bit. Don't take him from college. But yeah, the rest of the...
make sure they're extremely late picks because they're probably not going to work out for you.
Right. The rest of the picks, I mean, they pretty much went what they needed to. Couple of defensive ends, a corner. I don't know why they'd go with another corner. But again, 7th round, that's the dart throw pick. A wide receiver. Do they need wide receivers? With Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and KJ Hamler? Fuck no. That's a stacked wide receiver core.
Yeah, but at that point, I have no problem with anybody going, best player on the board that they think is there.
Right. But I want to give them a good grade because I love Patrick Surtain and I like Javonte Williams. And like I said, they filled the needs with Quinn Meinerz and Baron Browning. But Jesus fucking Christ, Justin Fields was on the board. Take Justin Fields. You need a quarterback.
Yeah. And it's funny because I like, as you said, I like most of these players that they picked. If not for not taking Justin Fields there, this would be, a solid, A minus. But not taking Justin Fields when you have a giant fucking question mark at quarterback, and don't tell me that Teddy Bridgewater, might still have it. He's not going to be anything special at this point. It's that ship has sailed. Unfortunately due to the injury, and then changing locations. How many times now?
I mean, I kind of disagree. I feel like after he left the Jets and went to the Saints, and he had to step in, he played extremely well. But we saw last year.
I think he's going to be a career journeyman at this point, and you had a chance at a home run at quarterback, and you passed up on it. And
they said they didn't want to draft him because of his epilepsy. Mac Jones is still on the board too, you fuck faces. And then, well, we're still not going to address quarterback and take Kyle Trask in the 2nd round. What are you guys doing? Or Davis Mills, you are fucking this up. They didn't even address quarterback because they got Teddy Bridgewater. I love Teddy Bridgewater. We're huge fans. And even I think it still says so in our Twitter bio. I'm going to go check real quick because it used to. Let me see what we've got going on here. Yeah, guys who know, love, and talk sports every Wednesday night. Fans of Juju Smith-Schuster and Teddy Bridgewater. Retweeted by Ron Jeremy. We're going to have to take that one out, though, because some bad things are going on with Ron Jeremy. So I'll edit this.
Yeah, that was fun at the time, and then it turned out that he was a big old scumbag.
Yeah, so I'm actually taking that out right now. And are we fans of Juju Smith-Schuster still at this point? He's kind of a dick, too.
We were when he was just a funny tweeter, and then he kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll leave that one in for now. But God, I want to give them an A because I love Patrick Surtain. I like Javonte Williams, and I like what they did with their 3rd round picks. I just wish they did it in the 1st and 2nd round. I can't give them anything better than a B though, because
I took them down to a B.
Yeah, if this draft were literally who else needed a quarterback? If this were the Patriots, fucking home run draft. Especially now that Sony Michel is no longer with the team. But I just God, It's so bad that they... Anyways, so Denver Broncos, we both give a B. I think it's time to move on. I'm still pissed off that they took Patrick Surtain. I swore up and down when J.C. Horn got taken by Carolina, I was like, well, the Broncos are going to take Justin Fields, so the Cowboys are getting Surtain. Nope, didn't happen. Anyways, let's move on to the formerly San Diego, currently Los Angeles Chargers, who I will say had a much better draft than the Broncos did. We start round 1 with Sean Slater, the offensive tackle from Northwestern. Round 2, another guy that I wanted Dallas to take, Asante Samuel Jr., the corner from Florida State. Josh Palmer, wide receiver from Tennessee. Also third round, Trey McKitty. Like, McKitty. Love it. Tight end from Georgia. Chris Rumpf, the linebacker from Duke. Brendan James, the offensive tackle from Nebraska. Round 6, Nick Neiman, linebacker from Iowa. Round 6, Larry Roundtree, the running back from Missouri. And round 7, Mark Webb, the safety from Georgia. Okay, Chargers need an offensive lineman. They go get the second best offensive lineman in the draft. Fucking check. They need a corner. Actually, they need 2 corners. They go get Asante Samuel. Fucking check. They need wide receivers. They go get Josh Palmer from Tennessee. Underrated wide receiver. Not the best. Good enough. Check. They need a tight end. Do they? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But they need help on defense. They go get a linebacker, a safety, and another linebacker. They need another offensive tackle. They go get one in the 5th round. And do they need a running back? Probably not. They've got... actually, they do need a running back, don't they?
Well, they got Eckler.
Oh, yeah, but is he really... I don't know. I'm on the fence about Eckler. Sometimes I'm like, he's great. Other times I'm like, they need better. But, seriously, like, what on this draft do
when
you...
He's healthy, he's amazing, but, he's not always healthy, so you do want someone that can pick up the slack when he's not in. But,
honestly, I call the Colts and say, hey, I know you're keeping Jonathan Taylor, but what's the deal with Nyheim Hines and Marlon Mack?
Yeah, Mack for them, if he can return to any sort of form, would be a solid contributor.
Mm-hmm. So I love the Rashawn Slater pick. Second best offensive lineman in the draft. And they went and got him. They also need corner. Asante Samuel got him. Is there a single pick on here where you look and you're like, that was a bad pick? I don't necessarily like the linebackers out of Duke, but... it's the 4th round. They need a linebacker. He was most likely the best available, in their opinion anyways, so they took him. Is there a single pick on here that you look and you think, well, they probably shouldn't have done that?
No, I mean, the late picks I didn't love, but the rest of their picks were all like very solid. Slater, Samuel, Palmer, McKitty. It's just all contributors, all places that they needed to shore up their team after losing some guys.
Yeah, because they lost Hunter Henry, didn't they?
I thought it was a very, very solid draft. Helped their team, take another step forward. So I thought it was a good draft.
I completely agree. And they lost Hunter Henry. He went to the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I, for whatever reason, was thinking they still had him. So yes, they do need a tight end. Because unless Antonio Gates comes out of retirement again, who knows?
Yeah.
But as far as a grade, literally the only thing I don't like is a linebacker from Duke. But again, like I said, I understand probably the best option they had available, so they took him. I'm not going to fault them for that, especially because it was the 4th round. As far as overall grade, This is tough. I'm going to give them an A. I think they deserve it. They clearly had their list of needs, and they went and they attacked. They got their offensive tackle. They got their corner. They got their reigning Rookie of the Year quarterback. They got him 2 weapons in Josh Palmer and Trey McKitty. So,
found some protection.
Yeah.
Helped the defense out. Yeah. I gave them A-, B+. Real solid, solid draft that, will, as I said, will make the team better. And that's the point of the draft, and that's what you hope to do.
Absolutely. All right. Let's move on to them, their Kansas City Chiefs. Former Dallas Texans, if you will. All right. Did not have a first-round pick. So this is a little tough to really judge. But Nick Bolton, linebacker from Missouri, in the second round. Creed Humphrey, the center from Oklahoma, in the second round. Clearly they saw where they were lacking in the Super Bowl, and they thought, let's attack now, because Leonard Fournette was just demolishing the defensive line and the linebackers in the run game, and then their offensive line couldn't block anything. And then they go right back to defense. Round 4, Josh Kando from Florida State. Round 5, this pick went from Miami to Las Vegas, or from Las Vegas to the Jets to Miami. Finally found its home in Kansas City, and that's where they took Noah Gray, the tight end out of Duke. Round 5, they took Cornell Powell, wide receiver from Clemson, and with their final pick, they selected Trey Smith, the guard from Tennessee. I think it's unfair, honestly, to try and even grade this draft, because we're going to be grading on what we saw as a weakness that really shouldn't have been looked at as a weakness from the Super Bowl, because there were injuries that really allowed the Buccaneers defense to take advantage of the complete shit that was the Chiefs' offensive line. Do they address their needs? Yeah. A linebacker, good. A center, yes. Defensive end, yes. Guard, yes. Do they need another wide receiver? I don't know, maybe. Do they need another tight end? Absolutely not.
Well, you say that, but Kelsey's getting older, and I've already heard some camp buzz about Gray, worth a pickup in dynasty leagues. But they also, during this offseason, they lost some other linemen. They signed elsewhere. They signed, one to replace them. And I like what they did in this draft.
I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it. Nick Bolton, linebacker from Missouri. He's either going to be really good or really bad. So
he's fast, which is good, because they looked a little slow at linebacker. So maybe if he can cover tight ends, then that's a win for them, because they struggled against tight ends. I love Creed Humphrey pick.
He's an Oklahoma offensive lineman, of course.
Yeah, he's a great pass blocker. Gray, as I said, already getting some camp buzz, so maybe that's a better pick than it might otherwise look. They need someone that's going to need to replace Kelsey eventually. So we'll see if he can do that. Certainly a good player to learn under. And then, Powell looked solid in college. Trey Smith looked solid. So,